Thank you for coming here today. They'll be around a little bit, maybe ask some questions of them. But this is just the kind of initiative that I believe that we need to have throughout the city of Philadelphia. This was just, using the resources that we have here. Aubrey Arboretum is a fantastic location in this city. As a matter of fact, I live about 5 minutes from where Jerry's office is located. And it's a part of the community. And, one of the things I've constantly talked about the need of making Philadelphia safer is that policing by itself will not do it. It is one part of the leg on the stool. This is another part of the leg on the stool. This is something that we all need to recognize that can be helpful. And where Aubrey is located is right near Martin Luther King High School. Both these gentlemen went to Martin Luther King High School. So it's bringing Martin Luther King High School together with Aubrey Arboretum. This is the kind of partnerships that we need in this city today. Taking both of these young men. Just this week, in the press, it talked about shootings have been up since 2001. Over 31% shootings have gone from 1,500 to 2,000, and particularly targeting areas such as West Philadelphia, Southwest Philadelphia, and North Philadelphia, and particularly targeted to young African American males between the ages of 18 to 40. Well, here's two young men, just two examples of what can happen when a community works together through the leadership of Jerry at the Arboretum, through both of these young men' own initiative. This is all that I've been talking about throughout this campaign, the need to make Philadelphia a safer community block by block. So again, I want to thank all of them for coming, but we have another guest here, Alex with Young Politics, right? Young Philly Politics. I apologize, Alex.
Okay.
Alex is teaching me. I was giving me a little lesson. I know Alex well, and I know Alex's father extremely well. I know him a lot better. So Alex is going to kind of be our moderator today to take questions that people want to ask me. So that, Alex, I guess you should start out where you want to start with Philly.
Okay. Just like to say thank you to Dwight for inviting me. And I will actually start with a question from Barbara Beck, who asks, how would you coordinate all the city services and agencies in this city to improve the quality of life through the environment? And that includes water quality, air, trees, parks, vacant land, and trails.
Well, basically what I would do is something that they said in the next great city is use a sort of a cabinet concept. I said the other day at the next great city is that I didn't necessarily think we needed a cabinet position, and I still don't believe that. What I basically would do is have a cabinet of people who would work together, very similar to what we have here in terms of the Arboretum, in terms of these partnerships. If you look at the Arboretum and Martin Luther King High School, they're both in the same location. Only thing I did is I was the facilitator that brought them together. Well, that's the same thing I would do with my cabinet in terms of the water department, in terms of the Fairmount Park Commission, in terms of the streets department, all of the various departments, and bring them together. And clearly the ultimate vision is the idea of having a greener city, a cleaner city, a city that's working together to help affect where people live, work, and play. So everything I did here, and this is an example of what I'm talking about. Basically what I did is brought together people, Jerry Kaufman with the Ogontz Avenue Revitalization Corporation, with Martin Luther King High School, I think Foundations Incorporated. And what I did, Jerry, is got out of the way. I mean, I brought them together. I articulated what I wanted to see happen, and from there they took it. And that's the same thing that I would do in the city of Philadelphia. I would have a group of people who I just mentioned some of them. It would be more who would be involved, who would basically help make this a cleaner, greener, safer city.
Okay, I actually have a personal question. One of the things that intrigued me within your plan is the idea of kind of environmental equality, that all of the citizens of Philadelphia deserve environmental equality. I grew up in Germantown. There's a lot of trees up there. I live in West Philly. There's a lot of trees there. But in many sections of the city, it just seems kind of barren. And I'm wondering what can the mayor do to make those areas more green, and especially in some of the areas where it seems like there's not a lot of space, that like in South Philadelphia, where the houses are pretty close to the street, and there's not in areas where there's not a lot of abandoned houses.
Well, Alex, it doesn't necessarily have to be a lot of abandoned houses, but the bottom line is, again, I'm gonna keep referring to Albury Arboretum because right now they work with the Ogontz Avenue Corporation, and they work in partnerships, and they work in terms of planting trees. So basically, what I could do as a mayor is kind of be the fundraising part of it. That's kind of what I did for this initiative. I was able to get state money invested into the Ogontz Avenue Corporation and the Albury Arboretum, and they were the ones who were responsible in terms of planting the trees, locating plant. You know, I want to be clear. I didn't do any planting of trees. At the kickoff, I may have done one. I dug a pit. I dug a pit. He laughs. I dug a pit. But this is what a mayor can have the ability to help try to bring the resources together. That's either foundations, that's either state money, that's either city money, that's whatever money we have. We can reach out to various organizations and get them to be involved in terms of putting our own little fund together. Mike DeBedinas, who is head of the Environmental Resource Department, he and I got together, and obviously as chairman of the Appropriation Committee, I was able to get together with him. We brought some partners together. We formed a partnership with the Pennsylvania Horticultural Society, which basically which very much a part of the tree valorization of the city of Philadelphia. And we made a commitment, like I did in this plan. I would like to do the planting of 50,000 trees over a 4-year period in the time that I'm in public office at that time. Obviously, would hope people give me another 4 years, but that's one objective I worked toward. And I think you just heard the young men say before they got into this program, they had no idea what trees meant. I think you heard Jerry talk about what trees means to the community in terms of environmental, climate types of conditions. And I think what I provide is the leadership to bring the partnerships together to make this happen.